You ever done anything like this before?
Only minimum security.
I see. The driveway's a few hundred yards up on the right.
The only thing that ever bothers me is their gibberish. When they start raving on and on.
You haven't anything to worry about. He hasn't spoken a word in 15 years.
Are there any special instructions?
Just try to understand what we're dealing with here. Don't underestimate it.
Don't you think we could refer to it as him?
If you say so.
Your compassion's overwhelming, Doctor. What do I give him when we take him in front of the judge?
Thorazine.
He'll barely be able to sit up.
That's the idea.
You're serious about it, aren't you?
Yeah.
You mean you actually never want him to get out?
Never.
Then why are we taking him up to Hardin County if you're just gonna lock...
Because that is the law. Here we are.
Since when did they let them wander around?
Pull up to the main gate.
Shouldn't we put...
Go on, move. Stop here.
Shouldn't we go on up to the hospital and...
Wait.
He's gone from here. The evil is gone. I got it.
A couple of things that stick out in my mind, which is like when Michael Myers removes a tombstone, and this is the thing. This is the next movie. This is the Halloween movie you should do, which is from Michael Myers' point of view. Yeah. Right, where he's got to like love this tombstone, and you think he regrets it? You think he regrets stealing this tombstone and trying to? And is he walking it straight to the house to place it, or is he like? Does he think, oh, I got to hide in the shadows? There's some trick or treaters here, because he steals this headstone in the middle of the day. So now he's got to walk it back. And does he know, like, I'm going to put it in this house because this is where I'm going to kill? Like, how does he map that out? So we got to have a Michael Myers perspective viewing on all this, because he's got to haul the tombstone, which is not light.
Right.
Even
does he have his jumpsuit
strength
cleaned? Because obviously there's a lot of dirt on the tombstone.
And is he doing it in the mask? Is he wearing the mask or does he only wear the mask when he kills, like some sadists? I don't know. So these are the things you got to figure out. But when he gets there and he decides, okay, I killed this kid in the kitchen, right? And then he sits back and he goes, I need to put a sheet on. So you have like a sheet, you have glasses over a sheet,
the glasses
over a mask.
And
they're like, do you think at one point he thinks like to himself, like, oh, this is a bit excessive. Oh no, but it'll be fun because she'll never know it's me. She'll think I'm the other guy who's now pinned to the side of this cabinet. So like Michael Myers' perspective, like we should narrate a version of this with Michael Myers' internal monologue.
I literally, it's funny you bring up the glasses, because I was literally thinking about that as I watched the movie, because if I put on somebody else's glasses, I can't see a thing.
Right.
Like it's, everything's blurry. So it's like, is he struggling to see? Does he have a sense of humor? Because
he's looking through the Shatner mask, through a sheet, through the
the
glasses at this next victim. And that's the moment she picks to expose herself and ask if he sees anything he likes. And so you're wondering, like, what's the mentality of this guy? Right. Well, obviously we know he's a nutcase, right? That's the movie hammers that point home. But you're sitting there going, like, okay, I've hauled this tombstone up, and now I've got to hide these bodies in a way that'll shock the next person that walks through here. It's kind of like, Michael, you're wasting your time. I mean, if you're going to go on a killing spree, that's the business at hand, buddy, not the artful decoration of these cadavers.
Right.
But it's all done obviously to shock the audience. We get it. That's the theatrical moment versus the reality moment.
He also pulled that tombstone out very cleanly. It's a very neat. It's a very neat.
Props on the extraction. Yes, I've been to that cemetery, by the way. It's in Sierra Madre. Yeah, we did a piece from it, which was pretty fun. And it's like, why do they do it? It's like, of course, I love that the cemetery watchman is walking Loomis to the headstone, and then it's missing, and Loomis has to say which one is it. He has to read off a list.
18, 17, 18, 19. Yeah.
The cemetery is a little bit bigger than most people's backyard. It's very small, and he's like, Judith Myers. Oh, go figure. Go like how many directional moments do you actually need? And it's like, and you're sitting there and you're like, and then that might even be where Pleasance goes, he came home.
He did it. Yeah.
It's like, excuse me, Loomis, you fucking already know what the plan is here. You're on this guy. You're onto this guy. You don't need the like, who thinks like Loomis drives into Hattonville and goes, you know what? Let's check the cemetery for his mother's headstone. We have a maniac loose in town, and we're going to go see if he's decided to rip some props up from the local cemetery.
Right.
Hold up, buddy. I think we better do some other sort of sense of like groundwork here. And then, of course, it is a very neat extraction. That tombstone came right out. And then that's the thing. Like, did anyone report a guy walking down the street carrying a tombstone?
Well, I wonder about that because it's the day before Halloween, and there's this guy in a mask just kind of standing in the street, many
I guess
times.
He sells it. Yeah, right.
And across from a school, staring into the school, and like nobody questions that.
And by the way, Brackett, brilliant police work. Okay, so there's a mask missing. Did we get a description of the mask from the store clerk? We know a mask is missing, so they must know what it looks like. And there's a couple of knives missing. So why masks and knives? Or anyway, whatever. But there's a mask missing. And
but it's just kids.
Yeah, but has anyone made the phone call? Like, excuse me, I'm a teacher at Hattonfield Elementary, and there's a really weird guy. That's interesting. We got a phone call from Hattonfield High School where there was another report similar to a guy who apparently was driving a car with a tag on the door that said, Hillhurst Asylum or wherever he was in prison. It's like, you think like what kind of brand of police work does Hattonfield offer its citizens when you can't really kind of put it together? Like at one point, Brackett's got to look up and be like, I'm starting to recognize a trend here. That's the elementary school and the high school reporting a guy in a mask. The high school being able to report that he was driving a sedan, or actually a station wagon, from the asylum. It's interesting. And you know what? Earl out on I-5 has been missing for, and his tow truck was found on the side of the road. It's like, and wait a minute, we've got neighbors in Hattonfield Prime claiming a dude's walking down the street with a tombstone that Loomis reported missing earlier. I'm beginning to sense a pattern.
Yes. Yeah, that's funny.
Ridiculous. But fun. We still love the movie. It's just, but it's when you think about it like that, it's kind of like, okay, ridiculous.
It is.
It's like, I would immediately get on the phone and call the next city over and be like, I need every available deputy. I'm going to call in the state troopers. We got a guy. Clearly, we've been tipped off.
Yeah.
He's a nut. His doctor is here telling us how dangerous he is. And he's been at a school, and he's been at an elementary school and a high school, and he's been seen in the neighborhood. So let's decide to, it's Halloween. So, of course, politically speaking, they can't do a curfew, or they wouldn't, because look, it's a red state. They're not going to, trick-or-treaters, they're going to want their Halloween. But we're going to have to place some deputies and some state troopers out there, which I think they actually do in one of the movies, right? They take that approach.
Yeah. But the other thing that I thought was interesting too, that I made note of when I watched it this last time, was it's the late 70s. You've had Manson, you've
Summer
had
Sam. Yeah.
Summer Sam, you've had, I don't know if you had Ramirez yet, but you've got all those, and yet every door is unlocked and every window's open.
Right. We probably had Ramirez, but we didn't know we had Ramirez yet, right?
Right.
By the way, see the Night Stalker doc on Netflix.
Oh,
it's
it's freaky. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Brilliant police work by the LAPD on that case, by the way.
Yeah.
Can't give him enough props for catching that guy.
Yeah.
I know a
really
lot of,
freaky.
there's a lot of havoc in his wake, but they got him in a way that was astoundingly. They weren't working at Haddonfield PD, these guys. Let's put it that way. These were big city cops.
No, I love, after everything you said, that long litany of the pattern that should have been assessed as his thing was, no, I got to get back to doing something. It's just kids. Kids stole the stuff.
I know. It's so funny. Like, it's probably
like every day kids steal knives from the,
Well, it's listed as sort of a small town in sort of the scope of the movie, right? In the audience mind, right? It's kind of supposed to be sort of small town USA. So at some point there's going to be a couple of phone calls into the station being like, hey, Sheriff, this is Flo at the Haddonfield 5 and Dime. I got to tell you, got a guy walking by. It looks like he's wearing Billy Bob's jumpsuit. Billy Bob's hasn't been back yet. And somebody said they saw his tow truck out on I-5 and he's carrying a tombstone marked Judith Myers from the cemetery. You think there might be something up with that, Sheriff? Oh, it's Halloween, Flo. Yeah. It's Halloween. Just get back to work, close up shop early, and say hi to the kids for me. Right. But it's like, and then of course, as things kind of come unglued, I don't think any of the characters do call the police at any point, do they? None of them do. No. They either never think to do it or have the opportunity to do it.
Right.
But I mean, when she's running from door to door in a panic, people turn the lights out on her and like leave her out in the street to die.
Yeah.
They like turn their backs on her, which I don't think is real either. I mean, I think if you heard that in your street, you would definitely the whole neighborhood would light up.
Right.
So,
and I don't think it gets a pass because it's Halloween, but people, I think
but you know how I'd get around that, speaking from a feature development point of view, you put it in a storm or power outage situation or tornado warning, and that kind of obscures the opportunity of like someone shouting down the street, getting a lot of attention, or, you can kind of have sort of some obstacles you can place there that you can rework to kind of protect that script angle.
Your road to redemption is paved with tombstones. No quarter, kill all masters. Go to noquarterkillallmasters.com. Rated R.